Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. I'm Taryn, the traveling trainer here of GoTarryn Personal Training in the greater Atlanta area, and I'm about to welcome someone from Scottsdale, Arizona. That's right, Ms. Kathleen Gramzay. You've seen her here before on GoTarryn TV. She is back, and I cannot wait to talk to her here momentarily. She's going to be telling us about a webinar that is upcoming very soon. But first, I'd like to invite everyone out there, if you haven't done so, to please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And while you're watching today's video podcast, if you'd be so kind as to like the video, leave us a comment, and share it with all of your friends and family. Now, as you know, Kathleen Gramzay is an author. She's an educator. She's a board-certified massage therapist with more than 17 years. And most importantly, she is the creator of Kinesage Self-Care. And she's going to be coming on here right now, folks, to tell you about an upcoming webinar that she's going to be hosting that you don't want to miss. So to get all the details on that, you better make sure you come back after this short little break. And remember, with GoTarryn Personal Training, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We're back here on GoTarryn TV with a returning guest. We had her on here a couple months ago, and she was actually back in the archives if you want to look at episode 575 in November of 2017. That was the first time we got to meet. We have Ms. Kathleen Gramzay, BCTMB, here back on GoTarryn TV. Kathleen, how are you doing out there in Scottsdale, Arizona?
Great, Taryn. Thanks. Nice to see you, and hi, everybody.
Great to see you, and great to have you back. For those of you who did watch the podcast last time or don't have the benefit of, please check it out. As I mentioned, Kathleen is a 17-year board-certified massage therapist. She's an author. She's an educator. And most importantly, what I found out last time when I talked to her, she is the developer and founder of Kinesage Self-Care. And I urge people to go back and learn more about Kinesage Self-Care. They need to check that out and learn more about you. And for sure, by the end of today's blog, we'll get your contact information and some other things from you, too, so people can learn more about you, Kathleen. But today, I'm really excited because I'm bringing you back on here. And before recording, you and I had a very brief, off-the-record kind of chat about what happens around this time of year. As we know, we're now past the first full month of the first month of the year of 2018, and you always hear this, obviously, being in self-care and health and wellness, as well as I do as a personal trainer, is that people have really great intentions around New Year's times, around the beginning of the new year, in this case 2018. People set their goals up. People are in the fitness center, in the gym, hitting the workouts hard, eating better and making a commitment and saying, I'm going to stick to it. And then by this time, right where we're at now, as we're recording this, and it's going to be published in the first week of February, unfortunately, something happens. And most of the times, even quicker or sooner to that, is that people do fall off the wagon, so to speak, and we lose them. And so you and I need to talk about that right now. That's why I'm really excited for us to have this dialogue here and this kind of conversation to go over that, because maybe between both of us, we could figure it out and get people to be perfect like you and me and back in the gym. But no, I'm serious. In all seriousness, though,
that's funny.
I'll be serious, Kathleen. I'm the first.
I would say I'm practiced.
Exactly. Yeah, I jest, but seriously, I mean, it really is. In all seriousness, I'll be very blunt and candid. Hey, I'm a victim and I'm guilty of what I just said. I do the same thing. I have good intentions, saying I'm going to do it this year. I really mean it. And then I give up or I don't stick to it. So let's talk about that, and figure this out, because again, it's not brain science or rocket surgery or however you say. We've got to figure out between the both of us what is going on out there. And so what's your opinion on that, Kathleen? Just to kind of start us off, and please, people watching, pay attention, because there's going to be an interesting webinar that Kathleen's going to talk about too when we get to the conclusion of the video blog.
Well, I think there's a number of factors that people don't necessarily realize that are kind of behind the background.
Right.
So it's kind of like if you don't know the game, you can't win it, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
So I think that, people do start out with great intentions, but I think that there are obstacles along the way, both mental and physical and emotional,
yes,
that can
for sure.
be the stumbling blocks that people get caught in. And the next thing you know, it takes a minute to start a new habit, right? It takes at least 3 weeks.
Right.
And really more like 3 months to develop something that's in your program. So if you have things that come up that you're not aware of or ready to have a pushback, a good pushback, right, a solution for, then it's, we all end up on the side of the road and wonder what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a couple of things that I see, and it's funny that way back in the day, like way back, my first job was actually working in health clubs. So I also saw that trend of at the beginning of the year that January's packed and then February you lose. I mean, I think it's now like 46% are left. There's only 46% of the people who are still working on their New Year's resolutions.
Wow,
right
that's
now.
amazing.
That's
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, so I can appreciate it from that perspective. And then of course in my practice, I worked with people all the time, every day, all day for 16 years, and would see them go through their cycles of this as well. And they would come in, in pain or with injuries or different aspects. So that's really what makes, I think, it a really relevant conversation, because when people are empowered with information and they know what to expect, they can see it. And then they can say, oh, okay, I can make a different choice. So one of those just simple things is there's a big segment of people who would love to get in better shape. Like they know in their heart they want to, they know they would feel better, they know their life would be better. And they're simply, if they're in pain or they're immobility, they can't move right. If somebody's knee is hurting them and they can't go for a walk, obviously all the good intentions in the world is not going to combat the pain that they have that's going to make them say, well, don't move.
Good point.
And so because the body's through the pain, the interpretation is if it hurts to move, don't move, when in actuality, movement is the key to bringing movement is the key to release the pain. So when we start to move, if we do it in ways that are really kind and loving to ourselves, the body will appreciate it, because it's if you think of it like the engine, the movement is the engine that allows the body to function properly. So whether that's your muscles or your nervous system or your digestive system, your circulation, your lymphatic system. But the difference is that our blood circulates whether we get off the couch or not, right? Because we have a heart that pumps it. But movement is actually what moves the lymphatic system. It's a one-way vacuum system. So as we move our muscles, that lymphatic is pumped. That's your body's sanitation system. I mean, lymphatic system is where your immune system is, and it's your sanitation system. So if you have a bunch of stress that keeps just, you are having stress and your body is holding that stress and dealing with what stress, all those chemicals are in your tissue and around your cells, that's supposed to be cleared out by the lymph system. If you're not moving, it's not getting cleared out. If you have a bunch of toxicity, whether it's because you're not eating great, or you're taking maybe you're on medications that have toxicities, or you're eating food that's not clean food. All of those things are bringing the toxins into your body. And if you are not moving, you are not helping your lymphatic system clear it out. People who are constipated, those are your filter systems. They're not getting moved. That's toxicity. That leads to disease. So when we think about the motivation to move, lots of times it's more from that aesthetic. Oh, I want to look better. I want to be more attractive. I want to feel better in my clothes. And that's all really good. But there's a much bigger reason why.
Kathleen, yeah, that's interesting you say that. I mean, that's ironic because actually I'll tell you this. This morning at my Georgia State class where I teach at, we had a guest speaker who just said, almost paraphrasing but not verbatim what you just said, that she recognizes that in America specifically, the medical field is recognized that most people do go to the gym and want to work out about body image, looking better. That's statistically the number one reason why most Americans do. But now doctors are prescribing exercise as medicine, so to speak, and there's more material out there showing how much more important like you just said, your body system and homeostasis specifically. So it's funny. It's really weird that you said that because, again, I heard that maybe several hours ago on campus, but I couldn't agree more. You're right, absolutely, and that's something they need to address. And I see, you asked me before we started recording, do I see it? Yes, certainly, like with my clients. And then when I take on a new client, for sure, that becomes an issue too. I've had people tell me that they just want to stop being in pain, and when one client just wanted to be able to get up off the floor. She wasn't very old at all. In fact, middle age. She was about early 60s, and she said, one of my biggest problems I have is that I can't even get up and off the floor. It's so hard. And that was one thing that we just worked on, was just every time I saw her up and down, I wanted to challenge her more and more, and just progressively, like in little baby steps, keep challenging her so she can get more, frequent up and down the floor. But I couldn't, I like how you said that it's like a sanitation system, the whole lymphatic system. I think that's a really clear way for people to kind of give a good analogy of what it looks like. That's good. That's really good. Can you now tell us about this no pain, no gain theory, Kathleen? That's a good transition, I think, into the second point that we had.
Well, what is more common in our society than no pain, no gain? That assumption, right? Whether that is if you go for therapy, if you go for physical therapy, it's going to hurt first.
Yeah.
But then it'll feel better. Or whether that could even be deep tissue therapy. Sometimes that's, for some people, very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But there's this belief that it's going to work better after. It's certainly the mandate theory in working out, so in physical training, I worked with athletes, and their belief system about that is it is so ingrained. They don't, if it doesn't hurt first, it cannot be working. And it's the exact opposite with the body. The body really likes and is designed, the nervous system is so sensitive that you could feel a hair through pages of the yellow pages, like back in the days when we had yellow pages, or if you take a book, you can feel the hair through pages. That's how sensitive your nervous system is, that you can feel that. But we are taught that you would do everything hard, like we don't even think about, we grip our steering wheels. We grip our pens. It's like for dear life, because, we got all this other stress going on in our body sitting in that.
Right.
So helping people to get this idea that you could actually be kind and loving to yourself is way more helpful, because the no pain, no gain theory pretty much is going to end you up in one of a couple places. One is that you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to end up, I'll tough it out. I can work through this. I can push past this. Well, the reason why you're having signals, if you're moving and working out and doing stuff, the reason why you're getting signals is your body telling you something's not right, and it's asking you to pay attention. It's not asking you to push harder. It's not asking you to make it worse. It's asking you to step back and listen to what your body's telling you. Because if you follow that no pain, no gain, and you just suffer through it, there are consequences. There are consequences in inflammation. There could be consequences in torn tendons or ligaments, muscle tears, or things that if you're trying to work out and if you're really trying to be intentful in getting in better shape, that kindness, incremental progress is a much kinder and more consistent way. It's like the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise won for a reason. It wasn't speedy, it wasn't flashy, it didn't burn all its energy and then get so fatigued, and that's what happens. The burnout thing happens. So for a month, people have been working out like crazy people. Now they're sore, and they're fatigued, and their body's hurting them, and then the mind chatter starts in, which is, what am I doing this for? All I'm doing is hurting. It's really not working, because it's been 3 weeks. Never mind, it's been maybe 3 years that people have put on the weight they put on, or their lifestyles have gotten more sedentary. Term, like fix it now, and if it's not now, then it's not working, and then I'm going to just quit. Rather than, if I just walked 5 steps more today, and people are better with the Fitbit thing, which is great, and people are becoming more aware. But the secret is just incremental progress. And every day, it's better to do the same 5 minutes of something every day, and write it on your calendar so you can say, I did my 5 minutes. And pretty soon, it's more important to write down that you did your 20 minutes on your calendar than it is to lay on the couch and skip it.
Great points. Yeah, you're right.
Different. So being able to give yourself other tools to be able to help yourself be incremental progress, and just saying, thinking about how good it feels, because we all know that once you start moving, then your body is showing you in its appreciation by moving the lymph system, by increasing oxygenation, by the endorphins, and increasing the kinds of chemicals that actually help for cellular repair, for better sleep. So it's the exact opposite. So when you're not pushing that strain and stress that leads to the chemicals of cortisol and norepinephrine and epinephrine that are actually the fight or flight side. But if you're working in those feel good side, and you just did something that you can just say, hey, I did my thing for me today. It doesn't have to be exercise. It could just be literally walking around the block. It could be something more than whatever you do now, without having it be that it's a strain, and then you can continue to do it, because then it's incrementally feeling better every day versus this go, 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 burn yourself out, it's killing me, I'm done. Or your body says I'm done because you just, it just decided to stop you because you didn't listen.
I love it. Yeah, great answer. I liked a couple of things that you said, too, in your response just now about the word consistency, because I find that to be very true, that, most of your people who go hardcore and overboard, and it's either all or nothing, and, then they fail, and it's because of that reason that they don't see the, like you said, incremental needs to be consistent and have a progressive way about trying to maintain their goals. And like with my clients, for example, I use the word baby steps a lot. I always like to say baby steps, and I throw that out there all the time because, for example, I use the analogy of finances a lot whenever I'm training, because I listen to a lot of financial podcasts, and I've never listened to any guru or financial expert who doesn't believe in the baby steps / progressive incremental ways, and that's how you'll become consistent. So I think that really very much is the same as what you were just saying in terms of whatever program they're going to get into. They need to be smart about it. And like you said, yeah, if 3 years that they've gained all this weight, how can they just say, well, I want this in 3 weeks, or, it does take time, and for sure, you're absolutely right. How about this? Let me ask you about, let's go on to the number third part here. When they want to get in shape, go full bore. We've looked a bit about this, but now we're kind of transitioning into this. And then a past injury or a new injury derails their best intentions, which puts them behind. What can you say about that point right there?
Right. People, what happens is that how we sleep, how we drive, how we sit at a computer all day, if you've had past injuries, though there are patterns that we live in that the body gets used to that becomes the body's normal, right? So those compensation patterns. So when you think about muscles being, if we're a marionette puppet and our bones are moved by our muscle strings, if those muscle strings are all even, right, and they're pulling on the bones, then the movement, the force is going to come right through the middle of the joints, right? Makes sense if you have equal balance. If one of those sets of muscles, say one side of those muscles, if you've had an injury or you sleep on that side or you are in a tight space or whatever patterns in your daily life, for whatever reason, you have one side that maybe that's tension and it's chronic tension. So you don't even know you have it. It's just a pattern you're not even aware of. Now what happens is when you go to work out and you go to do that, if you're running or whatever your workout program is, what will happen is if you are accelerating the use of that compensation pattern, you're going to accelerate the wear that's happening during that pattern.
Sure.
So as a result, if you have a tendon that's getting worn on one side of your hip, say, for example, then if you now are doing a whole lot more squats or you're doing leg presses or you're doing whatever you're doing, riding a bike, say, you're doing more and you're saying, oh, I'm going to do 30 miles now, or whatever, 5 miles, 10 miles, whatever it is for people. What happens is that you're just amplifying the pattern. So that is going to lead you to either a recurrent injury if you've already had one, if that's the pattern from that injury, or if you haven't and you have a wear pattern, then it could lead to another injury. So it's really important to understand that you got to give your body the assistance on the front end. You have to be able to give it tools so that you can reset those tension patterns so that they're working right in the first place, so that when you do go to start a workout program or you want to continue one, you're going to be improving and strengthening the correct pattern rather than the compromised pattern that is going to lead you to say, I'm done because now I'm hurt and I can't do it. And as you know, when you get an injury, muscles are usually take a month to heal if you tear a muscle. It's 6 weeks for a tendon and then 8 weeks or more for a ligament. So if you're do it because one workouts, but you're going to start back square one if you're tooling around on a little walker or something.
Yeah, very true. Absolutely. And then the final point, Kathleen, is what about the wasting time of stretching or preparing the body to warm up? I see that a lot too. People just neglect the whole.
Tell me what you see about that.
Yeah, like with warming up, for example, I'll give you a really good example, and I'm not going to name any of my clients, but if they're watching or listening, they probably know who they are. Usually, like on a lunch break, for example, and it's a corporate gym, and they're running late because a meeting went overboard, or they were having to talk to the boss, and they said, "Taryn, I only got 45 minutes instead of a full hour, so we're going to skip the warm-up and just go right into the workout, so let's get started." And that drives me nuts, and here I am stuck in a dilemma because these clients are paying me pretty good money, and, part of my brain is like, well, they're paying me for results and for what they want, in their own mind, but then at the same point, they're also paying me for my expertise and knowledge of doing it. So really, that part of my brain, in my opinion, I don't know if this is right or not, but I always err on the side of being too safe or, just protecting the clients because I try to encourage them no matter what, saying, hey, look, if we can't get a full 30-minute strength training workout today or what have you, it's okay. We'll get a good 25 minutes. Well, let's do that 5-minute warm-up because it is very crucial. And that I'm very much in the belief of that. And although I should probably follow that a little bit more myself, again, I'll be the first to admit I definitely far from having a good grasp on my workouts to be the most effective and efficient for myself. I'm guilty of it. I'm on a time crunch a lot, and so I get it. But I do recognize that stretching is very key, and you need to prepare the body to work out, properly rather than just go right into it.
This is what I learned. I've been working out nearly all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I started out. I played as a kid, and then at 18, I actually started working out, and I've been working out ever since.
Yeah.
5 to 6 days a week. It's just my norm.
Right.
And but I'll tell you what. For those, I don't know, for 15 years, I was in the gym every morning at 5 o'clock, and I will tell you that probably for 10 of them, I really didn't work. I did this much. But then I learned that when you work out, when you warm up, a warm up actually makes your muscles more prepared to get a better workout.
True.
So they're activating your muscles. So to me, then it made sense because it was actually more efficient. My muscles work out more efficiently. They work more efficiently when they're warmed up.
Yeah.
So once I learned that, then I was like, I'm actually going to get my 25 minutes is going to be more effective if I do my 5 minutes. So once I learned that is what really got it for me. And I'll tell you, I did notice a difference. And I didn't have the concern of a tight hamstring or the other things that I did have before in the back of my mind. And really, for me, this idea of stretching is it's preparing the body, it's understanding how it works, and being able to use the body's design for movement. To do what we want to do, right? To live in our bodies more comfortably, more joyfully, be more fit. And stretching is the first thing, but it's only one thing in the sense of it's one piece of the puzzle. And that's what I learned in my work with Kinesage is that that's using one principle of the body, but if you could use multiple principles at the same time, that you could not only just tell the muscles, get ready, we're going to work you, but if you could actually reset the tone of the muscles and get the awareness in the nervous system of what normal tension is, so that you're actually starting the body in a more relaxed and clean and open state, more flexible, more agile. Now, not only are your workouts going to be more effective, but they're going to be much more comfortable, and all those other systems, your lymphatic system and the connective tissue and the fascia, is going to be warmed up and opened up, which allows everything to work better. So it's really important that to give the body the tools it needs at the front end, which are even more efficient than if you don't and you're just going blind and you don't know what you're doing. And the more you know what's happening in your body and you know how to partner with your body, the more you are going to benefit, not only on a physical level, but on a mental and emotional empowerment level, because you'll understand how to work with it.
Yeah, very well said, Kathleen. And we went through those 4 points step by step, and they really do tie together. I like how you brought it all together, in a total package, if you will, on how they're all related. So that brings us now to the most important thing, leading into where people can learn more on a webinar, platform with you. So please tell us how can we invite these people to the webinar that you have? Let's get the 411 out there, the who, what, where, when, etc. on the webinar coming up, please.
Okay. I am doing a webinar on Saturday morning, February 10th.
Okay.
At 9 a.m. Arizona Mountain Standard Time. And it is precisely on this topic, which is don't let pain or immobility derail your fitness goals and how to get and stay on track. And so on that webinar, I'm going to be explaining how you can use your body's design for movement to release your own chronic muscular pain and tension so that you can achieve, so you can either start to work out if you'd like to start to work out.
Good.
Or to have incremental progress to achieve your goals, or you can simply just enjoy your life. Like I said, for the woman who just wants to get off the floor, there's lots of people who just want to play with their grandkids, and they're not old, but they have grandkids, and they want to be able to get up and off the floor with them, and they don't have to be overweight. It's just when we lose that fluidity and that ease of movement and function in our body, it affects everything in our life, and it's not necessary to live like that when we have a built-in system that's already here if you just understand how to activate it. And that's what I share in my webinar that is about the Kinesage self-care system.
That's really good. No, Kathleen, you answered my next question. I was going to ask you who is it for, and it sounds like pretty much everyone. Like you just said, I think everybody could really benefit from this. This is really, really good.
Well, it's my pleasure to share. I have been a lot. Your folks are in that mindset of wanting to be and stay fit and healthy, and I'm happy to share information that can help them do that, because if we all understand how our bodies work, we then are empowered to make the decisions about understanding what we can do for ourselves. And if you have that choice, then you have a choice between whether you can do something for yourself, or if you have to go see somebody, it's going to be because you choose to, not because you don't know what else to do. And also, it's great to have an option that is one that supports your body instead of taking drugs, or whether that's Advil or to opioids. We know the opioid addiction crisis is extraordinarily horrendous in our country, and it starts with people just, I sprained my ankle and they gave me an opioid, and here people are addicted. And it's it sounds severe, but that's the truth. And so really that's what Kinesage is. It's a way to be able to empower, to understand how your own body works, how you can partner with it so that you decide, so you can release the pain and tension yourself without having to take something. Or if you are going to go see a professional, now you are empowered and you are a partner in your health. You now go because you know what you could do and not do, and then when you need or want more support through a professional therapist or health practitioner of your choice. But it's great to have the power to choose, and applied information gives you that power.
And this is a great opportunity for people to take advantage of that. I can't stress it enough. And tell us, Kathleen, how can people sign up for the webinar?
They can go on my website. It is www.KathleenGramzay.com, which I know you'll put on the end of the webinar.
Yes.
Your podcast, my webinar.
We'll have it.
And then it's KathleenGramzay.com/welcome. It's under the Release Your Pain tab, and all you have to do is go in and just put their name and information in so that I can then send them the sign-up information for Saturday, February 10th, 9 a.m. Arizona and Mountain Standard Time.
Perfect. Very good, Kathleen.
That's a week from this Saturday.
That's right. Exactly. Absolutely. Kathleen, this is going to be wonderful. I can't thank you enough for doing this with us. And this half hour flew by really quick, like last time with you. I remember it just goes by so quickly, but I'm glad we got it all in. This webinar is definitely going to help get and keep people on track. So I urge everyone out there, and hey, if my clients are in Atlanta, Georgia, we're in Eastern time, it's 11 o'clock for us. So we get a little bit of a break because,
sleep in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, absolutely. 11 Eastern, 9 Mountain time. They need to be checking it out Saturday, February the 10th. And in just a few moments, when we fade to black, one more time, we will have the website link on the screen so people can grab a pen and paper and jot that down and go to Kathleen's website and fill out the information, and she will connect with you. And Kathleen, Thank you. That was wonderful. I really love it. Enjoy the time out there in Scottsdale, Arizona. And let us know when you're here in Atlanta. I'd love to meet you in person someday soon, and that would be great. Just keep doing what you're doing. This is just wonderful.
And you too. And to everybody, you guys just keep on doing what you're doing, incremental progress. You can make it. You can achieve your goals comfortably, easily, with joy.
I love it. And on that note, great way to finish the blog there, Kathleen. Have a great rest of your day, and everybody watching, enjoy the rest of yours. And here comes the information on the screen right now. We will see you, Kathleen.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.